All right, this is the Monday, September 11th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. And of course, we're focusing on Irma and its impacts here throughout the southeastern part of the country in today's video. Quickly, we'll look at temperatures across much of North Carolina this morning. It is kind of a cool start to the day. A lot of our temperatures in the 50s out there, some 60s involved. I know it's kind of a messy map, but you get the idea. There's kind of a cool feel to the air out there early this morning. All right, so here we go with Irma. That's the high-resolution satellite imagery as we've gone through the past 6 hours. As Irma early today has been lifting through Florida, made a couple of landfalls in Florida yesterday being Sunday, originally in the Florida Keys and then around Marco Island there on the mainland of Florida as we went through yesterday. Now let's take a peek here at the latest advisory as I cut the video. These are being updated frequently, but at the 5 a.m. advisory, it was a 75-mile-per-hour hurricane, so barely hanging on to hurricane intensity. It will weaken down to a tropical storm later today. Irma lifting to the north-northwest at 18 miles per hour. Notice the pressure still pretty low, 965 millibars. It's that pressure gradient or that difference in pressure between Irma and high pressure building into the Carolinas from the northeast that provides us with some pretty windy conditions over the next 24 hours. You notice Irma weakening to a tropical storm, then eventually a tropical depression as it moves through Georgia into Alabama, and then into northeastern Tennessee and northeastern Mississippi, and western Tennessee. So, associated with Irma, hurricane warnings still up across a good chunk of Florida. And you have tropical storm warnings then extending into coastal sections of South Carolina, much of Georgia, and eastern Alabama as Irma continues to work to the northwest. So let's talk about the wind aspect of this system. This is futurecast, and of course your strongest winds undoubtedly will be further to the south and closer to the center of Irma. But pretty good winds, breeziness moving through Georgia into South Carolina this afternoon. For North Carolina, a lot of the Piedmont and the foothills with winds sustained out of the northeast this afternoon, say 15 to 25 miles per hour. Of course, it gets much higher as you get down to the parts of South Carolina, Georgia, and eastern Tennessee, and the mountains of North Carolina too, for that matter. But for North Carolina, the windiest period will be tonight. And I think that's when you could have some wind gusts in the Piedmont, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Could be some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts in some mountain areas as well as we go on through tonight. So tonight will be the windiest period. So there's the radar and the satellite. The clouds are here. They'll be with us all day. There's your rain early today, spreading slowly northward through South Carolina. Rain very steady through much of Georgia, and then it gets very, very heavy and very blustery through coastal South Carolina, south of Charleston, down into Georgia and much of northern Florida. So let's talk about the rain aspect of this system. There's the high-resolution future radar, and what I'll do here, I'll back this out real quick, and you can notice the center of Irma. There it goes right there, kind of working up through Georgia as we go through the day. On the north flank of that here in the Carolinas, the rain will continue to work northward with time. So rain becoming increasingly likely as we get deeper into the day today across North Carolina, and then the heaviest period of rain will be overnight tonight. So a rainy, windy night ahead. How much rain? Here's what Futurecast is indicating, and I think this is pretty accurate. Your heaviest rains, Georgia, South Carolina, southeastern parts of North Carolina. For a lot of the Piedmont and the foothills, probably looking here at 1 inch to 2 inches on average when it's all totaled up, most of that occurring tonight. And I will say here in the mountain zones, as the easterly and southeasterly flow continues through Tuesday, there'll be some mountain areas that pick up some 3-4 inch rain totals due to the orientation of that wind. So let's talk about impacts. And these are mainly focused on the foothills in the Piedmont of North Carolina. Not a devastating system by any means, but there will be a risk of some tornadic activity. I think the best window of opportunity for any tornadoes, again, talking about North Carolina, would be tonight into early sections of Tuesday. I mentioned the winds already. Due to the relatively quick nature of the rain aspect of this system, not a huge threat with flash flooding or river and stream flooding, but I can't rule out some issues. And again, power outages, as you see those winds continue tonight into tomorrow morning, combined with the wet ground that will be settling in, there is the potential for some power outages. But again, I don't think this is a massive destructive deal across the interior Carolinas. So there you go. This heavy band of rain you see here, that's where you get your strongest winds. That pivots into North Carolina tonight. So that's when we have our heaviest rain and our gustiest wind. Temperatures today not moving much. And same deal tonight, not a whole lot of temperature movement. Now we have decreasing impacts from Irma later this week. Still tomorrow, we're close enough that we have a lot of clouds, some shower chances, even maybe a few rumbles of thunder, and getting a little warmer. There's your Tuesday highs. But by Wednesday, we're in pretty good shape. Mostly a dry day Wednesday for a lot of the region, and temperatures cranking up. And I think overall, the forecast for much of the rest of the week and the weekend ahead rather looks pretty good. Getting fairly warm too. I think as we get into Friday and the weekend, a lot of highs on up into the 80s in the Piedmont. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Everybody stay safe. Have a great day, and God bless.